Using a 10 grams of a 15% boric acid ointment, the pharmacist will manufacture an 8% ointment. How many grams of diluent is required? So first thing you want to do is get a sense of what are they asking for. So you have like a tube or bucket of 15% boric acid, and there's 10 grams of the mixture in this whole thing. This whole thing is 10 grams, right? And so they want you to add diluent to make it less concentrated. By less concentrated, specifically, they want it to be an 8% solution, 8% total mixture. 8% of drug in the mixture. That's what we want to know, the total grams of mix. That's what it's asking for. So the first thing you're going to do is want to find out how much drug is actually in this 10 grams of 10% boric acid ointment. So the first thing I'm going to do is put 10 grams, multiply that by this percent strength. Well, this is 10 grams of mix, by the way. Multiply it by the percent strength, which is 15 grams of drug over 100 grams of mix. I know this is 10 grams of mix because this represents the whole thing, everything inside this bucket here, 10 grams. And then this 15% boric acid, 15% here. Remember, this 15% boric acid can be written as this: 15 grams of drug over 100 grams of mix, or 100 grams of mix equals over 15 grams of drug. I know to use this one on the left side here because I want the grams of mix here to cancel out with grams of mix here. And that equals 1.5 grams of drug. So in this container here has 1.5 grams of drug inside this total 10 grams of mixture. So now I want to find out how much diluent to add to this. But first I'm going to find out what's the total amount of grams in this whole thing, this whole new thing, to make it 8%. So I'm going to denote a number sign equals the total grams of mix. So in the equation I got 1.5 grams of drug over the amount of grams of mixture. And then I'm going to set that to 8 grams of drug over 100 grams of mixture. That's what 8% is here. 8% is also 8 grams of drug over 100 grams of mixture. That's what this 8% represents, right? Because I'm setting what I have so far, 1.5 grams of drug. And then I want to know what total amount in the mixture, which I don't know what it is, set it equal to the 8% concentration. Right? So if I were to solve for that, you can either cross multiply, which is what I usually do, 1.5 grams times it by 100 grams of mixture equal to 8 grams. Cross multiply that to whatever this number sign is. And then if you do the math, your number should be 18.75 grams of mixture. That's what this number is. And first thing you should realize, this 18.7 grams of mixture, that's what this total is in here. This question mark, now I know it's 8.7 grams of mixture. I'm not done yet. Realize that the question's specifically asking how many grams of diluent is required. So remember, you started off with 10 grams of mixture. And then you're adding the amount of diluent to make it 18.75 grams total. Right? Because the question's asking for this, the diluent. It's not asking for the total amount of drug in the total mixture. I mean, it's not asking for the total grams of mixture. It's asking for the amount of diluent. So that's why I'm going to subtract this 18.75 grams of this final mixture subtracted by 10 grams. And that equals the amount of diluent that was added to make this 10 grams to 18.75 grams. And then if you do the math here, that's 8.75 grams. And the question asks to round the final answer to the nearest tenth. So it's 8.8 grams. And then the answers must be numeric, no units or commas. So in the computer, you just enter 8.8. And that's your answer. If you have any questions, please leave it in the comments.